What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Jump. Today, I'm talking about Cardi B and Candace Owens again. And many of you brothers did not like me saying that I believe that Candace Owens is jealous of Cardi B. I still feel that way. But the issue is Cardi B ended up calling out Candace Owens for being married to a white man. All right. Now you know where I stand on this. I'm a super hardcore pro-black. Like, if there is an extreme, I'm way extreme. All right. If I were to tell you how I feel, it'll make you cry. Okay, some of you guys. But she says it, and people say that it's a low blow. All right. I want you to hear what Candace Owens had to say in her response, and then once we talk about that, I want to basically give my thoughts on the matter, okay?
Hey guys, it's me. I wanted to do this live really quick because I've been thinking over the last couple of days about something that's been bugging me, but I kind of wanted to wait for the media and the press to die down about the whole drama between me and Cardi to talk about something that's kind of serious, especially since I have a lot of new followers who seem interested in the other side of the debate and what black conservatives are talking about. So in this debate between me and Cardi made a lot of personal attacks on me. I didn't return the favor. It would have been pretty classless, but I want to particularly talk about her attacks on my husband because of the color of his skin, right? So we live in a society right now that is super racialized, and you have a bunch of entertainers that are telling you that there's racism everywhere and that everything they're doing is because they want to combat racism. And in the very same breath, we have those same entertainers that are the authors of racism. Cardi has never met my husband. She doesn't know my husband, but she said, comment on one of her many videos talking about his white duck. I think we know what she meant, but she did write white duck, and saying that I sold out my community by marrying a white man. And then another portion of one of her videos, she spoke about my father-in-law, who she has no idea who he is, and said that he's a part of the upper class KKK in the UK. First and foremost, I'm not going to address stupidity of that claim. The Ku Klux Klan was never in the United Kingdom. They don't have the same race history as America, and my father-in-law sits in the House of Lords, not exactly the Ku Klux Klan of the UK, but I don't need to address just the idiocies surrounding the facts of what she said. I want to talk about the attack on the fact that my husband is white, because I've heard this often, especially amongst her fans, well, you married a white man. Oh, well, that tells you everything. First off, I want you to just imagine the shoe is on the other foot. So let's use an example of an interracial couple. Serena Williams is married to Alex Ohanian, and that is the founder of Reddit. So she is easily, I mean, anybody would say Serena is the greatest athlete on the face of the planet. She is black, she is proud to be black, and she fell in love with a white man who is a techie, a Silicon Valley techie. I want you to imagine that Alex Ohanian and Mark Zuckerberg get into a silicon spat online. And rather than Mark Zuckerberg answering Alex Ohanian on the points that he made, Alex and Mark start talking about the fact that Alex is married to a black woman. Could you imagine if Mark Zuckerberg put up a video in which he said, well, the problem with you is you betrayed your race because you married a black BITCH and you're with somebody who has a black vagina. Just imagine what the world would do, right? If Mark Zuckerberg got on an Instagram Live and said something about the fact that Serena was black and called out Alex for betraying his race. How would the world react? The world would go absolutely crazy. Mark Zuckerberg would have to sell the shares in his company, step down as the CEO. He would be gone. He would be canceled tomorrow because it's unbelievably racist, and it would be despicable for him to make an attack to suggest that a white man betrayed his race because he married a black woman. It would be, you can't even think of this scenario because it would not be okay. I mean, he'd probably get knocked off of Facebook himself for harassment and discrimination and for being a flagrant racist. But for some reason, when Cardi B does this, we don't see that feedback in the media. We don't see the media going, wait a second, that's actually very racist for her to suggest that blacks and whites shouldn't be marrying. So I want to also give you a history lesson on that and why it's one of the most despicable things that you're seeing a lot of young black people say today. First and foremost, when you want to talk about black history in this very same breath that you suggest that blacks and whites should not be married, it shows that you know absolutely nothing about your history. You have absolutely no idea what your ancestors fought for. And I would point to all of you guys to go examine the Supreme Court case of Loving versus Virginia, when a black woman and a white man, Mildred Loving and Richard Loving, fell in love and decided to do something quite simple and get married in Virginia. And because there were racial codes then, and they believed in racial integrity, there was something called the Racial Integrity Act in Virginia that was passed in the 1920s. They arrested them and they sentenced them to a year in prison. So just imagine our black ancestors being sentenced to a year in prison because they simply fell in love with a white man. This was a sort of discrimination and racism that went on in the South all over America, and these people fought for the right to love one another and took it all the way to the Supreme Court and scored the first win that actually illegalized miscegenation, which illegalized racial codes that didn't allow blacks and whites to get married. That's a little history lesson for you of what our ancestors have been through just for the right to love who they love, so that, you know, Serena can marry Alex and nobody can say anything, and that's allowed to be. And now we have dramatically arrived into a society where you have people like Cardi B with a platform of 75 million people who is attacking the very same thing that our ancestors fought for, racial integration, for the right to fall in love with someone because of the person that they are. Suggest that because I'm married to a white man, my father-in-law must be in the KKK. It would be as racist as Mark Zuckerberg in the scenario that I just gave, suggesting that Serena Williams' father is in the Bloods of the Crips. Like, oh, go Alex, marry that woman. You betrayed your race. You want to be with that black woman. Look what she's doing to you. You're a race traitor. Your father-in-law is in the Bloods of the Crips. Based on no knowledge, no facts, just assigning something disgusting to someone on the basis of their skin color. That is outward racism, okay? So when you ask why people that are black conservatives speak out against this, and when you say, oh, it's because they want to send the black community back, you're wrong. No, we're trying to keep the black community forward, and we're calling out the black celebrities, Hispanic celebrities that are actually trying to send our community backwards. What she is talking about is not racial justice. What she wants is racial injustice. And if you're following that, by the way, if you're a white person, you've downloaded her music, she just let you know what she thinks about you. She believes in racial segregation. She believes that blacks and whites shouldn't come together. I know all of her millions are not earned because all black people are buying her music. I've seen all the white girls doing the WAP dance on Instagram, and I know all of my white friends, all my black friends, they all have her music downloaded. Maybe it's time to revisit who you're supporting if these are the ideals that they espouse, because there's nobody's music that I like so much that I would be comfortable with them jumping on a platform and attacking someone on the basis of their skin color absent any facts, because you think that there is something wrong with actually living the Martin Luther King dream, actually living the Mildred Loving and Richard Loving dream. The idea that black Americans and white Americans can come together and be friends and date and fall in love and do all of these things because of the content of their character and not because of their skin color. In my opinion, Cardi B, you owe everybody an apology, not just white America, but black America.
All right, so you saw what Candace Owens had to say about this. And she makes some interesting points about Zuckerberg, you know, calling out somebody. You know, what if, you know, he called somebody else's out for having a mixed wife? You know, that's not the same thing, right? The thing about it is Mark Zuckerberg is not always talking bad about the Jewish community. Candace Owens is always talking negatively on African American community, on the community. She talks about the African American community while also upholding the people that are responsible for the demise of the African American community, which are both Republicans and Democrats. You see, the thing about Candace Owens is she has no problem talking about Antifa or the liberal left, but we must be honest here. Republicans have played their role in their policies too in hurting black people. You know, the Ronald Reagan commercials, pointing out all black women and black families to be on welfare. So we already know about that. It's always happened. Okay? It was Ronald Reagan's administration that was known to be bringing in drugs to the black community. Republicans. All right? Under his leadership. So the thing about Candace Owens is that she has no problem calling out blacks all the time, absolving whites who have a history on the right of racism. Now, not much is on the left. We know that the liberals do it, but the right has also. And see, that's the reason why Cardi B calls her a sellout, not because she's compromised. And the thing about it is this: how dare you talk about your people in the tonality that you do while married to another group? Because the thing about it is, you don't see white people that are married to black people that will talk like Candace Owens talks about her people. See, that's why Cardi B called her what she called her. It wasn't because she was married to the Caucasian herself. It was because of her tonality towards her people. She talks at her people and not to them. I want you to go and look at Candace Owens' page, okay? YouTube page. I want you to see what tangible things does Candace Owens have on her page that build up black businesses, that build up the black community. And Cardi B is not responsible for that because Cardi B is an entertainer. But Candace Owens says she has the answer for black community. What is Candace Owens' thoughts on black business, black development? Candace Owens doesn't talk about that on her page at all. What Candace Owens does, in my opinion, is cater her audience not to black issues. She talks about black people to Caucasians and other people that are sympathetic. And see, it's her rhetoric that a lot of people call Candace Owens a sellout. It wouldn't even matter if she was married to a black person. It would still be the same concept. All right? You talk negatively about black people while absolving the Republicans who are just as racist as the left in many ways. That's the issue there. That's why Cardi B calls her out. See, Candace Owens wants to make it about like, oh, she's just trying to take a shot at him based on his race. No. It's because of your preference for that race matches your tonality in how you speak about your own race. So your preference for the Caucasian man, according to Cardi B, matches all of your sentiments in which you speak in the negative tonality about African Americans and your people. And you're not connected to the community, you're connected to their community. That's why she said you're sellout. So I don't think she got a problem with white folks. She just had Joe Biden on her show. I don't like Cardi B. But see, we gotta clarify things. See, people want to, you have certain swirler YouTubers who are defending their rights to be with Zaddy. I won't call any names. You guys know what I'm talking about. But that's really the truth. And a lot of you brothers won't like that. And let me tell you this. None of you who feel like her in marrying what she has married in that tonality cannot speak for the people. Sorry. You can be upset about that, but you will never be accepted. It will fall on deaf ears. You guys know that. Candace Owens knows that. That's why she addressed it. She knows that her message will always be on deaf ears. Not because of also what she says, but who you marry in the black community, if you want to have a voice, says a lot about what you think. And for those people who not, because you can't talk about these people have affected us, we know that these people, and then that's who you're with. And furthermore, she tries to cape and say, well, England doesn't have the history of racism that the United States. Oh, really? You see, people sound stupid when they don't think. And Candace Owens is not a bright person. So let me remind Candace Owens, who started the United States? Jeopardy music! Oh, wow, Candace. That's the United Kingdom. They are the ones that came and founded the United States because the USA was a colony underneath British rule. Okay, the whites are not racist? Well, they're not racist in the UK? Well, tell me, who colonized Nigeria? Who colonized Uganda? Who colonized partitions of South Africa, Zambia, Malawi, Ghana? To this day, have these people hating themselves and feel like they're not the same. Kenya, Tanzania. Who did that? That was the British. The most racist group of people in the history of the world were the British. Their impact is the worst all over the world. The civil wars that they started, their hands in the death of many African presidents, their plots, the Biafra War from 67 to 70. See, you don't know this history because, see, you're not pro-black, so I'm gonna educate you on this. See, the British people, and if your family he's a lord of the British, they had their hands involved in that too. See, that's what she's talking about. She's a sellout. Because if your family is a British lord, then the higher aristocracy of the United Kingdom had their hand in holding black people back in Africa. And then they were also complicit in the slave trade because they started America. So the British have had their hands in America and in Africa. So if you want to use that argument, they're the most racist in the world's history. But see, the people who don't understand that, you will understand. So Cardi B, when she talks about her, she's right. But some of y'all don't like that. It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Subscribe, hit the bell. It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again. Subscribe, hit the bell. Go to the first comment pinned to the top. I really appreciate all of you and all of what you do. Thank you so much. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.